So before I do any tests on my handheld radios, I just wanted to prove that the SWR on the antenna that I'm going to use is good. So as you can see, it's around 1.1 to 1.2 at around 145 megahertz. So there's the antenna's connected into there, straight into the Antenna Analyser. So I know that there's no problem with the antenna that I'm using. So I'm just going to pause the video there. We know the antenna's good. So now what I've done is I've plugged the Antenna Analyser into the back of my SWR meter, and the SWR meter is then connected to the antenna. I just wanted to prove that there's nothing wrong with the cabling in between where my transceiver is going to be connected, where the handheld is going to be connected, and the actual antenna. So even through the SWR meter, the SWR meter, the Antenna Analyser is still showing that the SWR is around 1 to 1, which is good. So what I'll first do is I'll put the UV-82, which is the radio which I think has got a power problem on it. I will put that on first, and we'll see whether we get any movement out of the SWR meter. So I'll just pause this again now and swap the Antenna Analyser over for the UV-82 transceiver. So to test the handheld, I need to use a couple of converters. So I'm going to use an SMA converter, which will go to a BNC, and then the BNC will go to the SO239, which will then connect into my SWR meter and power meter. So that's just got a connection that goes straight into the back of the SWR meter. So first of all, I need to take the standard antenna out just so that I can do this power test. So that's got the same connector, so that's the SMA there. And now I'm going to plug the SMA connector in. I'll just pause the video while I do that carefully. So there's the radio, and it's got the, I'll just try and get it to focus there. There you go. So it's now got the converter plugged into it. It's not been powered up yet, and I'm just going to now connect the the transmitter or the handheld into my power meter. So we now have the transmitter. The handheld is now connected into my power meter, which is then connected out to my aerial outside, and we'll now turn it on.
Channel mode.
Okay, and as you can see, it's already programmed in with the local repeater, and we need to use the bottom one, which is the one that is on VHF. The top one is UHF, and the bottom one is VHF. So I'll just flick down onto that one. So we're now going to use the bottom one, and we'll just make sure the volume's up, and we'll just transmit on the bottom one. So we'll check that this is set to low range, which is set to low, and we'll do that test again. So it's definitely transmitting. So as we transmit, absolutely no movement on the power meter at all, and the power meter is set to low, and as you can see, it just about moves. If I just get it to focus, if I just transmit now, so as you can see, there doesn't appear to be much power coming out of that set. I have another set here which I'm going to test it in comparison with at the moment. You can hear the signal being received on there. So if we just show that together, it should be able to show the signal on the other one. So if I transmit, so as you heard there was feedback because they're right next to each other. But this radio is definitely receiving, but it's not putting out any power at all when I attempt to transmit. So what I'm now going to do is now swap it over and compare it to see whether it's any different on the UV-5R. I would expect to see at least 5 watts or 4 or 5 watts coming out of this radio. It is set to high power at the moment, but it's only it's not even 1 watt. So let me just pause the video and swap the radios over. Okay, I've now swapped to the UV-5R. And again, these have the same frequencies set in them, and it's set to transmit on the bottom one, which is the VHF, which is the 145 megahertz repeater. So that's all now set up, and let me try transmitting on this one. And there you go. So I'll just try that again. So as you can see, the radio is transmitting with the 5 watts that it should be. It's definitely pushing out 5 watts, this radio. However, this UV-82L, which I bought brand new from eBay, this is not pushing out not even 1 watt. So there is definitely a fault with this. So I shall be contacting the seller to find out if I can get this replaced. So I'll just pause the video. So I've just swapped back to the UV-82, and the one thing I wanted to prove was that it is definitely turned on to high power. So again, here are the settings. So if I just go into the menu. And we can see TX power, or TXP, is set to high. Oops, just try and get that out of the light. So TX power is high. It's definitely set to high power, and just to prove again, got the antenna connected to my SWR and power meter here. And if I just push the transmit again, so transmitting there. So just try again, just transmit now. So as you can see, this radio is definitely faulty. There is definitely no transmit power coming out of it at all. You see a very slight flicker on the meter, but that's it. So I've made this recording to send off to the people that I bought the radio from, and hopefully this is enough evidence to show that there definitely is a fault with the radio, and hopefully they will swap it.